Hey everybody, welcome back. Many of my students, in fact most of them, are adult learners. And that means that they're not all retired. Many of them still are working, have day jobs, stuff to do, even kids to, get to school and back, dogs to walk, cars to wash and all that. Really cuts into the practice time. And what I've been noticing in many of my students who are still working and have their time spoken for is that they're trying to cram everything into one practice session. They're lucky to get a practice session, right? But they're trying to cram it all in. In other words, as overwhelmed as we can be by the volume of material that is before us to learn, they'll try to do all the scales like in like one, maybe they got like a half an hour or 45 minutes to practice or something because no one's in the house, right? And they're going to sit down and do all the majors and all the minors and try to do all the blues scales or whatever. And in the end, the net result, and I mean no disrespect, I mean, think about how this is working out. You end up doing a lot of things, badly. And it doesn't occur, in fact, it's in fact hard to take on that, we're just going to do one scale for a week until it's like really good, until the intervals are really good up and down. And then we're going to mash it up a little bit. We're going to do it in thirds and in fourths. We're going to change it up rhythmically a little bit. We're going to maybe create a solo out of it. That can get to be kind of boring, and it can start to feel like you're really not going anywhere, right? And I don't have any students who do this professionally, so you're all doing it as a extracurricular activity, right? Extra credit, and so I understand that you want to get it done, and you want to get up to speed, and you want to get there. But doing it the way of cramming it all into one practice session isn't working. And the mental, I'm just going to say that there's sort of a mental, like a roadblock of like just doing one thing over and over for a very long time when you have very little practice time and you don't see the results, can also be stifling as well. So I took a lesson, paid for a lesson recently, an online lesson. I loved it, absolutely loved it. And the teacher coughed up 5 things to do, 5 things to do. I condensed a couple of 8, well, I'm going to give you 3, all right? 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to condense them for you, okay? We're going to condense them, and I'm going to show you how to do some things while you're learning. What I consider to be the most important aspect of all is to learn songs. I want you to learn songs. Yeah, melodies. I don't care what they are. I don't care if they're songs for your church band. I don't care if they're jazz heads. I don't care if you're learning funk, blues, whatever it is. Today we're going to take a Rusty Bryant tune. Rusty Bryant, are you hip to Rusty? If not, get yourself hipped up. Rusty Bryant was an awesomely, a vastly underrated jazz saxophone player who also played funk. And I'm going to lift something off of his Fire Eater. Is that the name of the album? The name of the song is Fire Eater. Could be the title track from that album. I don't know. I've learned a lot of songs and they all start to run together after a while. You'll see too. All right. Learning songs is really important because songs are all built from scales, right? Songs are all constructed with music theory in mind, right? So the first three objects in the 5 from the lesson were tone, production, repertoire, and agility. And I think they weren't necessarily in order, but I think those are important for those of you among who are watching and learning this instrument, this wonderful, the most awesome of instruments, called the saxophone. Number 1, tone production. Number 2, agility, meaning getting around on arpeggios and scale studies and things like that. Pentatonic scales, majors and minors. You couldn't go wrong with those, right? But repertoire, and I want to reverse the order, but I want to put repertoire at the head of the line and combine that with tone production. Okay, let's take a listen to see if I remember Rusty Bryant here. Here we go. The dogs are in the studio today. They might help out. Here we go. Let's see. No, I didn't. I got the wrong note. right, that's the head, then it repeats, and everybody takes really long solos, and they're awesome. And Rusty does so much good stuff in there. He puts a little gravel in his tone. Let me demonstrate a little bit of that. Right? He does it by humming. You hum while you play. We can get into that in a lesson if you'd like. davegoodsax@gmail.com. Reach out. We'll set something up and do a Zoom lesson. It's not as easy as you think, but it's not as hard as you think. Okay, so anyway, let's combine tone production with repertoire. I want you to learn a lot of songs. That is the key to learning how to be a musician. Learning a ton of songs. Like I said, I don't care what they are. Irish folk chanties, whatever. I don't care what you like, what you want to learn. Learn them. Memorize them. Get them off the page. Get them into your head so that you can walk around and look out the windows at your neighbors walking their dogs past and play those songs. Sit out in your front porch and play them without, paper. That's when you really start to own the material. And what we're going to do with this material, we'll go back to Rusty here in a minute, is we're going to turn that into tone production as well, okay? Watch this. We're just going to slow it down and turn Fire Eater into a series of long tones. Get the drift? Yeah. Now when we get into the upper register of the horn, which many of you are loath to practice, this is where you get, and that's exactly why I picked this song, because we got to get up into a D, an E flat, and a top F. Right notes, Dave. You got to play this better than I'm doing it. Okay, here we go. D, E flat to E. Okay, not F. No, D, E flat to E. Some of you out there are going, Dave doesn't remember notes. Bonehead. Yeah, you're right. Okay. But at any rate, you got the point. Take the repertoire, whatever it is, I don't care what it is, make it into long tones. That way, you can combine stuff, get two things done in the short amount of time that you have to do it, all right? Let's take a jazz head. What do you want? Blue bossa. All right, here we go. Let's slow it down. We'll make long tones out of blue bossa. Got the drift? Okay, I think that'll help a lot of you who are really stifled for finding good quality practice time and trying to cram everything that you can into this period of time and not really making progress because we're not putting any polish on anything. So number one on my list is going to be my amended list, all right? And again, I'm not criticizing the teacher. I'm not even going to name the teacher, but the excellent, amazing jazz player with a ton of albums and a ton of side appearances as a sideman on albums. The guy can play. That's why I bought the lesson, right? But I want to talk to you guys because a lot of the people that are going to go to that level of a lesson are advanced players who are gigging somewhere, right? Or you maybe at that step, right? A lot of my studio are hospital administrators and mechanics and air traffic control, people that have jobs, got to show up and do stuff. And you really have to carve out that time. So let's combine a couple of things, make them really, really sound good, before you move on, okay? And you know, if you feel like you're not making progress, hey, reach out to me, right? davegoodsax@gmail.com. And maybe we can come up with some ideas that'll boost your individual time, practice, idea, schedule, put it together, whatever, okay? All right, you got questions? You know where to find me. Comments below. So grateful, so glad you're all there. Thank you for spending your time with me on this Sunday. It's finally stopped raining here in Southern California. It's starting to, you know, dry out. And the dogs are so much happier that they don't have to wear those stinking raincoats. All right, check you later. Take care.